Hello everyone, welcome to Technia TV. I, Mansi Chopra, faculty of BAGMC department from Technia Institute of Advanced Studies, is going to deliver a lecture on role of NGOs in development. The NGOs became prominent after independence, especially after 1970s. Development parishioners, government officials and foreign donors consider that NGOs, by virtue of being small-scale, flexible, innovative and participatory, are more successful in reaching the poor and in poverty alleviation. NGOs involved in initiating and implementing rural development program. At present, 30,000 NGOs are working in India. Definition of NGOs includes the term NGOs is used to denote, specify those organizations which undertake voluntary actions and social movements. A non-governmental organization is a legally constituted that operates independently from any government, and a term usually used by governments to refer to entities that have no government status. In the cases in which NGOs are funded totally or partially by government, the NGOs maintains its non-governmental status by excluding government representatives from membership in the organization. The term is usually applied to organizations that pursue some wider social aims that has political aspects but that are not overtly political organizations such as political parties. There are various types of NGOs like first, operational or grassroots NGOs. Operational or grassroots NGOs are those NGOs that are directly related with the oppressed sections of society. Some NGOs are big while some are small. These NGOs could be either local based, working in a single and small projected locations, or be working in multiple project areas in different districts, states, regions covering a larger population. The approach and orientation of grassroots NGOs are also differ. Second, charity and welfare NGOs works on providing charity and welfare to the poor. Third, development NGOs. Development NGOs focuses on implementation of concrete development activities. Social action groups focuses on mobilizing marginalized section around specific issues which challenges the distribution of power and resources in society. Third, empowerment NGOs. Empowerment NGOs combines development activities with issues related to struggles. Fourth, support NGOs. Support NGOs provide services that would strengthen the capacity of grassroots NGOs, Panchayati Raj institutions, cooperatives and others to function more effectively. Umbrella or network NGOs, associations or informal groups of grassroots are support NGOs which meet periodically on particular concerns. Example, FEVROT-K, Federation of Voluntary Organizations in Karnataka. They act as a forum to share experiences, carry out joint development endeavors as well as engage in lobbying and advocacy. Next, funding NGOs. The primary activity of these NGOs is funding grassroots. NGOs support NGOs or people's organization. Most funding NGOs in India generate a major part of their resources from foreign sources through there is an effort by some to raise funds from within India. Characteristics of a good NGO. A good NGO is one which has capable, balanced and matured board of directors / members. The NGO aims at good governance in the sense that the program needs to be developed by involving the people, staff and board. This ensures that everyone in the organization would know about the activities to be implemented, the funds availed of each of the activity, how the activities are to be implemented and monitoring of these activities. Next, the NGOs need to begin their work after analyzing the situation and needs of the community. This regard to the actual needs to the community, the NGOs should seek to enable participation of members not as recipients of benefits but as those who control and monitor the program. NGOs need to comply with all the statutory requirements and follow good systems and procedures regarding activities, accounts, progress, etc. A good NGO should be accountable to all the parties concerned. It needs to be continued to the objectives that it has set for itself. Hence, there is a need to report the progress made with reference to objective fulfillment of the board of people, government, donors and to the media. NGO needs to adopt less bureaucratic, participatory and cost-effective approach to the development. A good NGO responds to the emerging the challenges at appropriate time, enables the poor to enter into panchayats and gain access to and control the decision making at the grassroots level. Next, a good NGO enables the organization of the poor to come together in a network and enables such a network to influence the policies of the state through lobbying and advocacy. Registration of society or a trust for running NGO for public welfare activities in India. The commonly used word NGO stands for non-governmental organization, which is formed by a group of private persons registered under the Society Registration Act of 1860 and recognized by government for performing some of the functions of allocated work on behalf of government. This is a very unique and informal type of arrangement made by the government wherein the government extends to help, support and authority to a private body to perform some of the work of the government on behalf of it. The activities being assigned to NGOs are mainly welfare activities which may be of various types. In some cases, the activities assigned to the NGOs are also administrative. The NGO is widely used for the registered trust as well as societies in India which perform such work. The government is more concerned about the compliance of various norms related to the grants to be given to the society and the utilization of the funds by the NGO. Establishing NGO in India. An NGO can be established either through a registered society or through a trust. Both these options are explained in details. Society under the Society Registration Act 1860. The establishment of an NGO in India is through the registration of a society under the Society Registration Act of 1860, for which at least 7 persons are required as the desirous persons to establish the said society. The identification and residential proof of the said persons is essential. The application for registration of the society is submitted before the registrar for society, who confirms all the documents, and then on the basis of which the registrar of society grants the registration of society. I hope you understand the topic role of NGOs in development. For more videos, please like and subscribe Technia TV. Thank you.